Everybody, happy November 7th, 2020. My name is Christopher Saunders, and this is the Connecticut Sports Talent Show, where we talk all things talents in Connecticut. On today's show, I'm pleased to have the NFA Product Senior Matt Davidson. He's a quarterback, punter, and safety, but his favorite position is quarterback. Max, great to have you on, man.
How's it going?
Hey, not too bad. Good morning. It's a Saturday. It's beautiful out. It's going to be 75 and sunny. Hopefully everybody who's watching this, either when it's posted today or tomorrow, that it's going to be a beautiful day and everyone enjoys it. Max, I think first and foremost, because you are a football player, you went through a lot of stuff throughout the last few months. Just kind of take me into kind of how did you deal with all of that stress of there's football, there's no football. Oh, there might be football. Oh, no, now football's canceled. How did you deal with all that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So, it was on and off. So with the guys, when we didn't have practice, we would be going up to Kelly Field, which is just behind NFA, and we'd be working there. We'd be working the East Line. So really, it never really stopped for us.
Okay. Now, was there ever a point where between you and, the players, did you guys ever feel like there was going to be 11 on 11, or kind of was in the back of the back of your guys' mind, like, you know what, I don't know if they're going to allow us to play? Yeah,
during the summer, we had that feeling that there wasn't really going to be a season. Of course we didn't practice like that, but there was definitely in the back of our head.
How was the training? Because with the gyms being closed, late in the spring, and the gym's not opening until later on, I know just by some of the videos I saw on Twitter and such that, you guys had to really kind of be creative. I mean, I saw one player, I forgot from where, what team he was from, but he was basically bench press, squatting a tree trunk. And I'm like, okay, I mean, that works. So was there anything that you had to kind of figure out as far as getting your workouts?
Yeah. So in the summer, when we weren't canceled, we had practices as a team, and we were all 5 yards apart. And coach really stressed that too, social distancing. He was really good about that. And we were really good about it too. And personally, I have a membership at Anytime Fitness, so I got to go there. And really, the only thing that was different about it was you had to stay 6 feet apart and wear a mask.
Okay. No, that's good. I mean, as long as, I think the biggest thing for you guys in particular is because I know with any athlete, creature of habit, making sure you keep some sort of structure as far as your workouts, because I know for football players in particular, it's a different sport than others where you can kind of maybe lag off a couple things and still be okay. But for you guys, you have to keep your strength up. You have to keep up your agility, because if you lose a step here, or maybe you lose 5 pounds of muscle, I mean, you're in competition for quarterback. I know other players are in competition for their own positions. You have to stay, online with that next player. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Now, as far as, again, going back to the group of players, what was the talk, I guess, during the entire spiel between the CIAC and the DPH? I'm sure there had to be frustration with all of it.
Yeah, we were definitely frustrated. I think there was a lot of stress between, oh, we have a season, oh, we don't. Really, we just tried to keep a positive air about us. And, I think that's how we are as a football team. And I was proud of the guys for staying that way. But, it was definitely really frustrating.
Was there ever a point where either you or the players, after seeing what DPH was saying, and then the CIAC basically not making a decision and kind of kicking the can down the road, how hard was it for you guys to not go on social media or go to a reporter and basically just blast and just say what was on your mind? Because I know it had to be tough.
Oh yeah, it was definitely tough, but I think, we have each other's backs at the same time. So it's instead of going to social media, I'll go to my best friend.
That's smart. That's very smart. And as long as your best friend doesn't go on social media, then you can go to your next best friend, and it's effect. What was Coach Burris and Coach Bakulis, who I both have had on this podcast before, what were they kind of preaching? Because I could tell you just from having them on, Coach Burris, highly respectable, great young coach. Coach Bakulis, I've said he should be president because he's very presidential. I mean, the way he speaks, very motivated. I mean, I had him on once for a roundtable, and I've had him on for just a single, like what we're doing. And I can tell you, I would if I was your guys' ages again, I would go to NFA and go play for him, because he's a very passionate but cares for the players.
Oh yeah, I have nothing but respect for those guys. They're amazing. The entire time, I mean, it's not our first time seeing adversity as a program. Last year, we got down to our fourth string quarterback last year. You know, as far as this season has gone, they've just preached, you know, keep pounding. We're going to practice like the season starts tomorrow.
Do you think that, you know, in some ways that because of what is going on right now with the pandemic and with not being able to get film out, and I know that's huge for you, I know that's huge for a lot of players from the ECC and all around Connecticut as well. You know, being a senior, coaches want to see film. You know, I've seen that in many, many articles. Sean McFarland did a great one a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I think he talked to Lafferty from Southington, who I've had on this podcast, and he talked about how coaches were telling them, I need film. I mean, I like you, I love you, but I need film. So how is it, you know, how happy are you that you're seeing what I've noticed the last couple of weeks from the ECC recruit Twitter handle, where now you're seeing football players starting to put things out there to try to help, and they're doing the same thing by, hey, if you have players that can show us stuff, we're going to retweet it. We're going to like it. We're going to try to get it out there. How happy are you to see that?
Oh, I love it. I think you're finally supposed to put a measure on something that we couldn't really measure before, and that's heart. You mean if you have heart, you're going to go to the field or wherever you can go, get film and put it on ECC. And at the same time, you're going to be getting a workout. You're going to showcase your athletic ability.
I kind of think too, in some ways, because of what we're in right now. And because I think every state is different as far as, I mean, look, we didn't play 11 on 11 except for the independent football, which is now shut down because of Governor Lamont and his new rules. But you have other states that are playing. But I think, you know, again, going back to the Sean McFarland article saying that coaches want to see 11 on 11, they want to see game film. I think, though, to look at it from the other side, not every state is allowing 11 on 11. So if you have kids like yourself and others who are posting to the ECC recruit Twitter handle and tagging them and such and showing, hey, I can do interviews. I can, I'm doing these workouts. I'm putting in the work. I would almost think they can't ignore that. I mean, that has to carry something, no?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like this is definitely a double-edged sword. Like, you have football, but then you run the risk of players getting COVID and then them getting their, you know, relatives sick, their friends sick. And then you don't have football and you get kids that can't put out film, and, you know, it's tough, but I mean, I think it's a pretty good alternative given the situation.
And looking at your situation in particular, going into this, what could potentially be a second semester alternative season, you know, very languagey, a lot of words there. You know, I'll get into that in just a second, but I want to talk about yourself. Was there any talks with colleges coming in as far as potentially playing at the next level? Kind of tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I talked to WPI, RPI. I went, was FDU, Husson. I think that was about it for colleges. And then I'm also looking at Springfield, AIC. I want to get into physical therapy. So, you know, colleges that have a good physical therapy program like Springfield and FDU are definitely like up there on colleges that I'm looking at and hopefully playing for.
Have they mentioned to you about any position? I mean, obviously, if you played all three positions in college, I mean, God bless you. You're just an athletic freak. But have they told you that you're going to be strictly a punter, or you're just going to strictly play quarterback and safety and so on?
No, nothing along those lines. It was just more here's what I have so far for my junior year, and here are the positions that I can play, and here are my grades, and I'm just interested in playing for you. And that was pretty much the extent of that.
And I know you
also I went on virtual tours and stuff.
Which is good, which is very good. But, you know, you love playing quarterback. That's your position. Now, what happens if, let's say, Springfield or WPI says, you know, we're good for quarterback for a while. We want you to get on the field. You will be a punter or safety, or I don't know. I'll just throw it out there, a slot guy. You'll be a wide receiver. Would you be okay with that?
Oh, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I just like playing football.
Mm-hmm. That's a good answer. That's a very good answer. You know, man, I think, you know, at the end of the day, I think all of you guys just want to go out there and play one way or another. And I can't predict it. You can't predict it. I don't know if anybody can predict what the spring is going to look like as far as when we turn the page. And I wish we could turn the page tomorrow to 2021, because 2020 has been terrible for a multitude of reasons. But the CIAC did come out with a potential plan. And again, what's the word that they used? A very fluid situation. It could always change by tomorrow. You know, they talk about how the season would start March 19th. It would end April 17th, and there'd be 4 games played. And I think as far as the games being played, I think it's fantastic for you guys, because I think that's something you guys just want, because it's still, I think in that time span, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it's late enough to send coaches video during that stretch. Am I right or am I wrong?
There's a lot of deadlines and stuff for communicating with coaches. Like, you can always send them film, but there's specific times when they can send you that film. I'm not sure the exact date, but I think you're correct.
Okay. Yeah, because I was just curious, because I know, just thinking about, because it's one thing for juniors, they can send it out in the summer because they're going to have time. They have an entire senior year. But for you guys in particular, you guys have a timetable. I mean, you guys have to make a decision at some point of where you're going. And I would think college coaches, I think Connecticut has more talent than people realize, but even they have to have some sort of deadline because they have to fill their roster. I know a couple schools. I know Endicott, is still looking for players. I know UMass Dartmouth is still looking for 2021s. If there's young men who are watching this who think that schools are not looking for talent, there are schools. I've talked to a lot of college coaches who have said, no, we're still looking for 2021s. So that should still give a lot of hope and give you hope as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Really the motto this year has just been keep grinding. That's really all you can do. Yeah, I can't control what the CIAC does, but I can control what I do, and I can control the film that I put out and how hard I work, and how ready I'll be for spring 2021 and the film that I can produce in those 4 games.
The one thing that I do, wonder about the second semester alternative season as far as football is concerned is that what the landscape is going to be as far as the schools. Are schools going to be open? Are they still going to be? I've heard talks about, potentially school being closed after Thanksgiving until January. I know some colleges, even within Connecticut, have said that, basically after Thanksgiving, all right, we'll see you in like late January, probably February. And I think kind of looking at this plan, it makes sense. It looks good. But I almost feel like because of what we dealt with in 2020 with COVID and everything, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I just have a feeling that there's going to be a change somewhere. I just don't know where exactly.
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a change. It's 2020. It's tough. We have a global pandemic, and the symptoms are exactly pretty much like flu symptoms. Mm-hmm. And if you're displaying those symptoms, you're going to be out for 10 days. And, spring or winter, spring, that's when you get the flu. And it's tough. You're going to get players that aren't going to be able to play because they may or may not have COVID, and you're going to have restrictions and stuff, but it's tough.
It is, because I read an article yesterday about, 40% of people who are infected don't even know that they have it because they're asymptomatic. And then 50% of people who end up spreading the virus end up not showing symptoms until after they spread it. And I'm not a scientist, so I can't break that down, but that's the best way that I could take from what I read. And I think, each day I feel like we're learning a little bit more, but then I almost feel like every step, every 2 steps we take, there's always somehow we go 1 step back because something new comes up. There's a new symptom, or, the vaccine that they're trying, something happens. It always seems like we're always kind of going backwards rather than forward,
Yeah. It's definitely been roll with the punches. That's for sure.
But hey, you know what, Max, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Hopefully, you can find a college, even if, for example, if there's not football, which I hope there is, hopefully you can show them the film. And it sounds like you have a lot of interest, and hopefully this and your film enough will be able to, show the colleges that you're a player and that you deserve to have an opportunity to play at the next level.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll wrap things up here in the Connecticut Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm on a journey to find the ball. Have a good one, everybody, and be well.